Hello and welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the best game modes to focus on when you're wanting to improve in Rocket League. For me personally, it was always a big kind of thing for me, not really understanding what game mode to focus in terms of getting better at the game. It's quite a hard decision to make when, like, if you're really serious about getting better. Then you kind of want to know like where to start basically on that. It's easier, so it's one of those things. It's not a huge deal. You will improve either way, like whatever game mode you play for the most part. Like, playing is obviously better than not playing, but knowing what to focus is always a good thing. So I'm gonna go through the pros and cons of each game mode, basically. Just talking about it, kind of just thrown out up in there, and you can make a decision after that. Try to give you some help on what decision to make, of course. And I'll tell you what ones I basically focused, and this is kind of the point I'm at now, from focusing the game modes. So we're gonna start with 1v1. Now 1v1 is one of the best ways to improve. I would honestly, just off the bat, I would say it is one of the greatest ways to actually improve. For me, the pros of 1v1 is consistency. So that is the main thing that 1v1 will focus for you, is your consistency, being able to get good touches, and also your IQ and your game sense is such a huge thing that gets built up through 1v1. It guarantees that you can basically refine your game. You may not get like a ton better, as in mechanically better or anything like that, but you will get 10 times smarter, and you'll also be able to get more consistent touches on the ball, which is one of the most important things. It's one of the best things for your game sense, and that is honestly, that is something that will speed up your time to getting better at the game a lot. Like, if you can cram a lot of, like, if you can focus on your game sense very quickly, then you can basically cut down the time that it will take you to get to whatever rank you kind of want. I'm assuming for most people it's SSL GC if you're really trying to take it seriously. That is, in my opinion, that is the best way of doing that. So 1v1 is definitely a great option, 100% in terms of improving game sense and your consistency. 2v2 I feel like can build a lot of bad habits. Like, for other game modes, like, I don't know, I feel like in 2v2 it's very good to be able to practice your mechanics in twos. That's probably what, like, especially at a lower rank, like, the ability to practice stuff is obviously a bit better because you're not getting instantly challenged every two. Well, you are, but like it's not as bad as threes. With getting insta challenged, because there's obviously an extra player that will be able to challenge you. So I would say twos, in terms of pros and cons, twos is definitely the best for improving your mechanics. I would say because like 1v1 is good for your mechanics, but normally the mechanics that you'll learn will be too slow normally. Because you won't have to beat anyone. You won't have to beat, like, you only have to beat one player in 1v1. So a lot of the times that can, like, it's not the best idea to just go for mechanics in ones. So twos is definitely, in my opinion, the best place to practice that stuff, and also practice being faster. That is definitely the main obviously benefit of twos, is you normally are pretty fast. The reason that being fast is obviously worth it, is that, like, it helps you with everything, your boost management, your rotations, so knowing, like, when to save your boost and when to challenge people is quite a good thing that you can learn in twos. It's definitely a good way to be smarter and understand the rotations and all that kind of stuff. And also, it's a good thing to start playing for your teammates, because in threes it is a lot more just chaotic, to be honest. I'm just using that as a comparison. Using twos, and the main focus is your speed and mechanics, to be honest. That is, like, the best things, in my opinion, to practice twos. And also, a lot of people, their best game mode is twos. So I think it is the best way to improve your mechanics and also start playing higher ranked players, because you normally will sit at a higher rank in 2v2. I feel like that's the case for most people, as they sit higher in twos. So being able to play against better players is a good thing. But as I said, just quickly, the cons of 2v2 is it can definitely build a lot of bad habits in your game, when it comes to like rotations and like just certain things like when to just shoot, and your decision making can't really get built up that well in 2v2, because normally it's just a lot of solo plays and not really playing around your teammate and stuff like that. So it can build bad habits, but it's definitely a good way to improve. So the third obviously is threes, and in my opinion, threes is a good way. Out of all the three of the game modes, I think threes is the worst way to like individually improve. I don't think it's bad to play threes, and I think you need to focus twos first before you play threes. Like twos is a good way of like building up your base mechanics. And obviously if you pair that with ones, your game sense, like you know, you build up your game sense and your mechanics. And then threes, like typically it's a really good way of becoming a lot faster at the game. But I wouldn't recommend playing it first out of all the kind of game modes. Like I would recommend getting GC and like twos first before you start worrying about threes. That is my honest opinion. But you want to be able to get your mechanics to a certain point. Like even if they're not good mechanics, you want to get them to a point where you're consistent enough. And it's too hard to do it in threes, I feel like. You're not really trying to get touches for yourself, you're kind of just smashing the ball. And obviously at the lower ranks I'm talking about, you're literally are just smashing the ball. It's not that good a thing to focus on your individuality a little bit, and you know, I feel like people kind of take that part of the game out of it, as in being selfish a little bit sometimes and like taking the ball for yourself. I honestly think that's not a bad thing to do, because otherwise how do you get better? Do you know what I mean? And obviously it can end up throwing your teammates off a little bit and making them annoyed at you for like stealing the ball off them and stuff like that, or not stealing the ball, but you know what I mean. I mean just having a bit of individuality and not just smashing the ball about. I feel like like threes is really bad for that. It can build just like you don't actually want the ball. Like you should want the ball is what I mean. You should want to go and try score something cool. Opinion, you need a little bit of individuality in this game. Yes, you can maybe get away with like just smashing the ball forever, but eventually you will get found out because you know you've not practiced any of the main kind of like being able to actually beat players instead of just hitting the ball. Whatever you for you to improve, you want to focus whatever you're kind of the worst at. And a lot of the, you know, but before GC, twos is definitely the best in my opinion. After the point that you get GC in 2v2, I would definitely move to 1v1. That is like, and then basically try get, you know, champ 3, champ 2 in that as well. And you'll be so much more consistent when you are playing. And I would personally focus threes last, in my opinion. Individuality is a lot more important, I feel like, in this game, because like, you know, it's all well and good being able to play in a team, but when it comes to you actually needing to do things individually, you know, you might lack a little bit in that area if you've not focused the types of game modes. So that's my opinion on all this. So to recap, so I would recommend if you're below GC going for 2v2, and if you're above GC in 2v2, or if you're GC in 2v2, I'd recommend playing 1v1 and then threes. I honestly wouldn't play threes personally that much until you really are solid enough in ones and twos. Because you know, you can learn to play with a team later on. You know, focusing on yourself first is definitely a good way of improving. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will leave in the description my kind of pros and cons just to summarise it a little bit, just in case you know it's harder to watch the video. So if you want to go into the description, I'll leave my pros and cons and like you know just in the make it a lot more easy to read. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting topic, and I also meant to say thank you very much for 200 subscribers. That means a lot. I've not really uploaded that much lately, and I appreciate the subs that I've been getting off my previous videos. So if you haven't already, please sub to the channel and also share this video. I think it's an interesting topic, so if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.